This is the Boulder Zone, the fusion of enlightenment and entertainment.
Wait a minute, what the hell?
Here's your host, Marco Boulder.
Hello again, my fellow interwebbers. Welcome back to the zone. Good to see you today. On deck is our usual brand of unfiltered, unpolished, manly talk and jocularity, and no Stuart Smalley around here, nope. But for a fee, I hear his tear-stained pastel sofa and sensitive talk can be rented if you're so inclined. I have got a good show for you today. Warming up in the bullpen is a lady that when it comes to men, she really gets it. One of the rarest of the breed. And you'll see why in just a few minutes. My guest today is comedian Bag Lady Sue. We're going to talk about her crazy, mature audiences only comedy show and get her take on the hobbled condition of American men. But first, to kick it off, we're going to take a look at a clip of the Bags in action and then the woman behind the mask, Suzanne Austin.
Bag Lady Sue here. I gotta just chime in about this sexual harassment, all these bitches running around. Oh, he touched my titty 30 years ago. I'm damaged for life. Shut the hell up. All right, I grant you that a man ain't supposed to bump your titty or pat your ass without you asking him or flirting with him first, which lots of women do, and then they flirt with him, and then they get pissed when he responds because he didn't respond the way they wanted. Or they try to bait his ass with this, here, this is what women are wearing. Let me show you. These are the panties women are wearing. Hey, what's this? Huh? What are you going to fit in this? There's no butt in the damn things. There's even less buttonese. Look at it. What is this? It's a triangle. Guy sees this, he's going to get a woody. That's what's going to happen. That's what they do. This is what I wear when I don't want the old man messing with me. And the son of a bitch is a pervert. He still tries to get some, but I don't care. At least he still wants some of this. Here. A nice red union suit. These things been around for a couple 100 years. You ain't gonna get no guy poking at you and trying to get a boner looking at you in this. He's got the butt flap, though. He can still get in there and poke at it if I unbutton the button. So listen, you just need to stop. The only bad man is a man and a woman allows to treat her poorly. Guy tries that crap with the bags, I knock the shit out of him with this. Touch me against my will, you'll be drawing back a bloody nub, you. But most men don't do that stuff. They just like looking at you, and you want them to look at you, so just shut the hell up and let men be men. I'm sick and tired of everybody picking on these poor guys. They're not all criminals. I like a man taking care of me, and so do you. And if you don't, then go mind your own damn business and leave us women who like to be sexy, be sexy. That's all. God bless you.
Moms, where's the moms in this fucking check? Look at it. Yeah. Ain't one of you bitches scared of a 10-inch dick, is you? No. Guys come up to me, I'm out in the bar, she's partying, minding my business. And this big dick guy, my friends go, hey, that guy's got 10 inches. I'm like, ooh, okay. So I walk on over, how you doing? I heard you have 10 inches. He goes, yeah. My dick's so big you couldn't handle me, baby. And I just go, you're adorable. You're adorable. Let me tell you something, Long Dong Silver. I'm a mama. I shit out a kid 11 fucking pounds, 22 inches long with a head the size of a cantaloupe. And I went, oh shit, out. And there was a baby. So until your 10-inch dick puts on a pamper and crawls across the floor crying, mama, you ain't fucking scaring me. Tell him. Fucking. I ain't scared of you. I ain't scared of you.
Bags here. It's Rocky Mountain rant time today. I'm just taking a walk in the woods. And men seem to think these days that all they have to do to get laid is just say, hi, how you doing? You're cute, whatever. And we're going to deliver the pussy like it's a fucking pizza. Hi, you want me to bring over some pussy? You hungry? Right on, I'll be right there. I don't get it. You know, I don't think men know how to court a woman today. I don't know when that was lost, that art, or why. I'm guessing it's because, you know, a lot of women, nothing personal if you're not one, but if you are a stupid cow who, you know, thinks that your vagina is platinum lined and so valuable that a man is gonna just, you know, be able to be hooked by it because it's that fabulous. So you jump in bed with the guy and then you wonder why he doesn't continue to date you or call you back. From the beginning of time, women have been prey. You know, the men are the hunters. That's it. That's the way God made them. It's not rocket science. And all this stuff with women trying to break down the masculine male, you bitches are nuts. And you're stupid, whatever. You know, shit happens, get over it. You can't carry this crap around in your life and blame every other man on the planet because anybody like me with a brain who doesn't jump in bed with every Tom, Dick, and douchebag that comes along, you know, isn't gonna go for that. What I can't stand is men being afraid to be men because some slut is gonna call the cops on him for whistling at her. You bitches need to move the fuck to another country like, oh, I don't know, Saudi Arabia? Maybe where you really see what machismo in its toxic form is like. Use your brain. Seriously. And quit picking on men. I am sick to death of this shit. We're lucky to have men in this country that still are manly and still have balls and still aren't afraid to go to war and protect your ass and still aren't afraid to fight somebody that attacks you or your children. You know, that's what a man does. A man goes out and works and makes money to take care of his family. He doesn't sit on his ass jerking his weenie, expecting her to pay the bills after she gets done swinging on a frickin' pole all night. Wake up, girls, and start appreciating real men for what they are. Bag Lady Sue out. Love you guys. Bye.
Joining us now is the comedic queen of all things non-PC, Miss Suzanne Austin, a.k.a. Bag Lady Sue. Welcome to the Zone, darling. How are you?
Hi. Hi, Marco. How are you?
Well, first, I have to say, folks, right off the bat, if you haven't caught her show yet, you're fucking missing out. Sue, I saw you at a motorcycle rally in Indiana, I think it was about 7 or 8 years ago, and it was the best. I mean, it was fucking hilarious. Loved it. Loved it. Now, before we start to chat, why don't you go ahead and tell the folks what they're in for if they come to a Bag Lady Sue show?
Well, I do comedy, not as myself. I obviously dress up like an old lady and, you know, reminds me of my grandmother, I guess. I don't know, but she's funny and obnoxious. And no filter. I am not the same person as her. And ironically, a lot of people, especially men, since we're going to be on the subject of men, they hear my comedy, which is very sexual, coming out of this old lady. And then after the show's over, I kind of strip out of it and pop out as me, and all of a sudden they still think that I'm the same girl that that they were watching.
That's the part of the show that I thought was just crazy was at the end because I hadn't seen your show before. And you did just this blue, funny ass comedy. And then all of a sudden the music comes on and it's like, what the fuck is going to happen now? And all these
Yeah.
clothes come off. And what are you wearing? About 20 pounds of clothes?
Oh, easy. More like 40.
Whew. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So anyway, I kind of want to ask you some questions today about masculinity in the state of man today. I noticed that on your social media platforms, you're pretty outspoken on things like government interventions, personal liberty, human rights, but especially about your support for veterans. Can you
Right.
tell me why that's such a passion for you?
In short, my grandfather was a World War II vet, and we were a very patriotic family because of that. But mostly, when I was performing in Sturgis back in I think '06 or '07, I saw a veteran standing at the Broken Spoke, and he was looking really sad and listening to Eddie Money, and we were just kind of hanging out. So I went over to him. I saw his vest, and I said, hi, thanks for your service or something like that. And I asked him if I could give him a hug. And I talked to him for a little while and cheered him up, and being an idiot like I always try to be. He felt better, I guess. And then I left. Well, he wrote me a letter a year later. It's on my website, bagladysue.com, on the troops page, because I have a page just for troops. And he wrote me the most amazing letter that he had plans to do something drastic that night. And he didn't, because I get choked up whenever I talk about it. But after that, I realized that I can help, and that everybody, including, especially our veterans, needs someone to just take a minute and say hi or thank you or make them smile. I mean, the world today, just people are so wrapped up in their own little bubble, and it makes me sad.
Yeah, it's a sad state of affairs that we're still, after decades, still looking at 22 veterans taking their lives a day. And
Right.
you know what? I've noticed that you're equally as passionate about the emasculation of men. So let's kind of talk about that. What's your opinion about how and why men are being pushed into this today?
Well, there's so many things, I think. A lot of women try to control men using, well, sex, obviously. Their kids is a big one. Don't even get me. That's a whole subject, boy. I always say, if you can't control a man with your pussy, then you ain't working hard enough, honey. You shouldn't need to use your kids to manipulate your guy. But anyway, that's kind of crude, but it's true. I've never had to do anything like that, but a lot of women do. And men get put in a position where they really are between a rock and a hard place, because our society doesn't support men, even to this day, single fathers or dads in a separation where there's children. I mean, it's awful. Thank God there's a few organizations that help. But aside from that, I mean, fatherless homes, it's huge. I mean, if a young man doesn't have a dad or a strong father figure, they don't know who to pattern themselves after. And if they have 4 sisters and a mother, how are they going to know how to be a manly man? I mean, it's hard for them. I mean, I always make people watch John Wayne movies. People laugh at me, but I'm like, every young boy I can get a hold of. That sounds really bad. I didn't mean it like that.
We can cut that out, Sue.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But anytime I'm around younger people, I'm like, do you ever watch a John Wayne movie? Let's watch a John Wayne, because truly, things like that. Clint Eastwood was always shooting people and killing people, but John Wayne was the dude. You know what I mean? Like, he could be funny, he was romantic, he was sexy, he was masculine, he was, patriotic, he was classy. And I just think it's sad that there are no images for men today, young men, to look up to. Peg pants and man buns. I mean, come on, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's, nothing against gays. I'm all in.
Yeah. We talked just before we came on the air about feminists real quick. And I know that's kind of a hot button for you a little bit. But,
I hate them.
how do you feel when you see these modern feminists, talking shit about men? And really, if you had one in front of you, what would you say to her?
Wow, it's really hard for me not to be reactionary to this. I don't. There's so much. I try to stay in shape and look. I know men. Okay, let me start back. Let me back up. Men are visual. Women are auditory. I think it's true. Women hear pretty words from a man and they fall for it. Men see a beautiful woman and he reacts. It's just instinctual. That is what God made them to do. Period. So women who let themselves go and sit around eating bonbons all, and nothing against, hey, you want to be a chubby girl and hang out at home and be domestic, fine, fine. But when your man looks at a beautiful woman or somebody that works out 3 days a week or tries to keep herself, you can't. What are you going to do? I'm sorry, they get all pissed off, and I can't process that. And even women who are jealous that get mad at their man for looking at other women, as long as he isn't touching her, that's just let him go. He's a man. That's what they do. So
Do you
I
think
get really
that's a
upset.
feminist thing? Do you think that's a feminist thing, or is that just kind of a general woman thing? Do you think most women react that way?
Well, no, I think a lot of women do. And I think it's an insecurity. And I don't want to say it's their fault because a lot of women have been through hell with men in their life. Not all men are wonderful. Let me tell you, you saw the video. And he was a wonderful guy. Nothing wrong with him, except his intentions were not what he made me think they were. And so thank God I got out of that. But I have had an experience where a narcissistic type man, and men can manipulate women. We hear. And then we put it in our hearts. So when a man talks a good game to a woman, she automatically believes him. I mean, the snake did it to Eve in the garden, buddy.
Right.
It's been since the beginning of time. Women hear things and we fall for it. So when men do hurt women or abuse them or use them, that is what started the feminist movement, I think, because a lot of men back in the day, the housewife sitting there pumping out kids and he's in the bar flirting with other broads because he brings home a paycheck.
Well,
Well,
I've got a surprise for you.
uh-oh.
You just brought up the Gloria Steinem and all this. On the other line, I've got Gloria Steinem's daughter. So if you have
Oh,
the chance,
wow.
I'm kidding. No, I'm joking.
I'm ready for it. Bring it on, man. I seriously thought you had it.
No, you know what? It kind of goes back to what I had asked you before. I mean, if you had someone like that sitting in front of you right now, what
Right.
would you say to them about what they're missing out on the traditional male?
Oh,
How it's affecting society nowadays? What would you say?
well, every way. I mean, I'm single right now, sadly, but I won't settle for something I'm not fully into. I have to fix my own car. I hate it. I'm not good at it. I am not protected except for my many dogs and my arsenal of weaponry. But aside from that, men are designed to protect, provide for a woman, and that's what they do. I mean, that is what they do. And I don't know why women feel the need to make men sit there and cry with them. I mean, if a guy wants to cry all day, man, I'm down. But don't turn him into a pussy. Oh my gosh, I can't take it.
Yeah,
They
we're seeing a lot of that too, Sue, where you know society or a certain sect of society is trying to mold men into what they believe they should be, the kinder
uh
sensitive, that sort of thing. But when they demonstrate that publicly, then they're chastised for it. And this is what I don't understand. Okay, so you want men to be pussies. All right. So you got some men that are being pussies. They show it and then you make fun of them. I I don't understand why they would do something like that.
Let me tell you something. My grandmother used to tell me when I was a kid, the only bad man is a man that a woman allows to shit on her. This bitch has never allowed it. I don't allow it. And the one time I got caught up in the web, I still left him 2 months in, 3 months. I mean, I left, but it took me 9 years to get over it. Because it was incredible. But if you allow a man to mistreat you or you take shit from him, man ever raises his hand to me, he better not sleep. I'm telling you, I swear to you, I'll get him. Because I don't think, the other thing she used to say is that ladies should never hit a gentleman, but a gentleman would never hit a lady. You understand?
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. Absolutely.
guy hits me, it's full on, buddy. And that won't happen a second time. But that's the problem. Women stay, they need the security, they want this or that, or he's good looking, they want the arm candy. And then if he's a douche, they get caught up in it and then they blame him. It's like, well, no, get out of it. That's the thing. I mean, it's same with men. They stay with these missile twists and snatches, because they suck a good one. And next thing you know, she's getting his house and his Harley and his dog and everything else. I mean, it's awful.
I noticed in your show, that you kind of go after men and women equally, all in jest, all in fun. Have you ever had any negative reaction from a man or a woman when you kind of poke light at them?
Never from a man. Never, ever from a man. And I mean, I've played for over 1 million people. Literally, I've tried to do the math. It's been over 1 million. I had one lesbian who went postal on me because I wouldn't turn lesbian with her. And I had one woman. Oh, here's one. The only time, these are funny. The only time I ever walked somebody was this chick. And it wasn't really her fault. It was her husband's fault. They're at my show. And I was talking about, giving head. And he called her out in front of people. And he's like, see, some women like it. And she just died. I mean, she got up and left. And I felt so bad. I wanted to punch him in the face because that wasn't very nice of him to do to her publicly. But sometimes, I mean, really, women kind of get it. And if they don't get it, when they come to my show, after the show, they think about what they're not getting. Because
what is their reaction to the striptease at the end? I mean, do you get kind of
it.
Do they? Okay.
It's fun. I mean, it's all fun. I don't show anything. Well, okay, not
right.
Really. But, back in the day, maybe a couple, I'd flip the girls out or something. But, I'm trying to be a good Christian girl today, so I'm not doing that as much. But,
right.
yeah, I mean, they love it. It's fun. My comedy in my show can teach people stuff. And I think any humor, any comic, can make people think of things that they might not normally think. And another thing too is like when I make it okay, then they're like, oh, maybe it's not so bad. And I teach men things too, like when you spank our butt, don't hit the same cheek twice, 3, 4 times. We get sick of it. Both cheeks. You know what I'm saying? Like, you guys do that. You'll be doing all the caveman, get that doggy stuff, and then you're smacking one cheek and she's like, oh, that's hot. And then you do it a second time and we're thinking, okay, that's twice. Then you do it a third time. We want to reach underneath and flick your sack because it hurts. It's like, little tricks. No, yeah, that's not you.
That would stop me in a heartbeat, though. So what is the most, I have to ask, because you've done so many shows and you have, like you said, played to over 1 million people.
Yeah.
Crazy. If you had to pick one show that was your show where it meant the most to you, what happened in that show that made it the best one you've ever done?
I know already. Fort Carson, Colorado, at the military base. When the desert, what was it, 2001, after the planes, when everybody shipped out. It was the last show. Oh, I get all goosebumpy. The last show before they shipped out, and I was playing it. And I felt like I can't even, there were so many feelings. It was just so emotional, but it was so amazing that these young soldiers, girls and guys, were just like, I felt like Marilyn Monroe. They were so amazing, and I made them laugh. And then, some of them might never have come back. I don't know, but it was most powerful. That had to be my favorite one.
Yeah, that's great. Sue, I want to thank you for coming on. Folks, there she is.
Thanks for having me, Marco. You're the best.
Bag Lady Sue. And that's the show. Another one in the can. Thanks for tuning in. And thank you again to Bag Lady Sue, Suzanne Austin, for coming by. And make sure you check out the comments below to get her social media footprint and to get the dates and location of her show. And you can catch me, the Boulder Zone, on all the usual places: the Facebook, the YouTube, the Twitter, the Instagram. And I appreciate your patience while I get that spun up. Oh, and don't forget to check out the website too, boulderzone.com, boulderzone.com. And let me hear from you. You are the reason why this show exists. We're here to answer your specific questions. Guys, if you want to get in the game, gals, if you want to better understand our game, I have the answers straight from the Manhood Operator Manual. Hey, we'll do it via video call. We'll do it via phone call. We'll talk to you on chat, on Messenger. Fuck, smoke signals. We'll do that even for you. So, with that, until next time, you know what to do.
Get bolder.